with this ranking? Tell me.
I probably would have put Rodgers and Wilson in front of Brady, Skip. I think the thing is the uncertainty what's going on with Aaron Rodgers. Is he going to be in Green Bay? Is he going to get traded? So for me, I probably would have went Mahomes, Rodgers, Russell Wilson, Tom Brady. But Tom deserves to be up there. And everybody keeps saying, well, Tom is going to be so much better in year 2 in this offense than he was the previous year. But does anybody think Mahomes will get better? Does anybody think Rodgers will be better in year 3 in LaFleur's offense? Does anybody think Russell Wilson? Russell Wilson just does Russell Wilson things every year. 500-600 rush, he doesn't run the ball like he did early in his career, but his legs are still dangerous. Throws 30-35 touchdowns every single season and wins a bunch of ball games. DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett only going to improve. So for me, I probably would have went Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, Tom Brady, but that should be the top 5. Maybe Josh Allen, and I think they had Deshaun Watson in the at the 5th spot. But Rodgers is the reigning MVP, and that's what we're basing on the season. We're not talking about the end result and who's going to win the Super Bowl. That's not what Pro Football Focus did, Skip Bayless. So don't be coming here with your shenanigans, because I know what you're up to. It's all about the regular season. Attempts, yards, touchdown, completion percentage, QBR. Because if I'm not mistaken, last year QBR, Rodgers was 1, Mahomes was 2, Russell Wilson was 8, Tom Brady was 9. So with that being said, I would have made a slight, well, you know what? I fixed it. Pro Football Focus. I got Mahomes, Rodgers, Wilson, Brady. I fixed your era.
So I have just one question for you.
Okay.
When will you ever learn? How many years of being humiliated by Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr. will it take for you to finally cease and desist and give in and give up and say, you know what? He's that guy.
Skip, I got him at the 4th spot. What you want me to do?
You just put Russell Wilson ahead of Tom Brady. How dare you?
Skip.
What would possess you to do that? Did you watch Russell last year after week 7? Do you know what Pro Football Focus ranked him after week 7 last year? He was the 14th best quarterback in the NFL. Do you remember what he did at home against the Rams in that playoff game?
He stunk it up.
Stunk it up. He had a QBR of 17 on a scale of 0 to 100. He was 11 of 27. 11 of 27? And you just put him ahead of the guy who won 4 straight playoff games and won the Super Bowl in his first year with Tampa Bay?
Oh, Skip. And see what you did, you added playoffs into the mix. All I'm talking about, they said the regular season, Skip. Who's going to have the best season?
Who, according to Pro Football Focus last year, ranked 2nd in regular season grade? It was that guy Brady in Tampa Bay, right?
Skip,
That's what they did.
I don't agree with their rankings.
Okay, so they have him 2nd, and the truth is, the God's truth of this is, if you just want to predict who is playing the best quarterback with the best supporting cast, well, it's Brady. He should be number 1 on this list, because all he did in the playoffs was rank number 1 in Pro Football Focus.
They didn't do the you added playoffs.
I know, but it's projecting into this coming season. Who's the best quarterback? Well, it's Brady, and it's by far. It's not even close.
Can I ask you a question, Skip? So are you going to disregard his second half against Green Bay? Did you just disregard that? The 3 interceptions. Are you going to just disregard that?
They were already ahead. So done the damage they needed to do. And I kept telling you, Antoine Winfield Jr. was out for the game. They did not have their start. They lost both their starting safeties.
You see what you did, Skip?
And Brady's saying, I'm going to throw jump balls in the 3rd quarter and early in the 4th to try to get us the definitive lead that they will not be able to come back from, because he does respect Aaron Rodgers at Lambeau. And what did Aaron Rodgers do right on schedule in the 4th quarter? He stunk it up.
But Skip, you just gave Brady a pass that you would never give any other quarterback.
He won the game.
Skip, I'm not saying that, but I'm saying if any other quarterback would have had that lead and just start willy-nilly turning the football over, you would have crucified them. I'm not saying that they didn't win the game. We know they won the game because they won the Super Bowl, so they had to win the championship game. But let's not pretend that he played lights out the entire game of the NFC Championship game, because he didn't.
Who was playing the best quarterback at the end of the year last year? It's not even close. Sorry.
Prior to the Super Bowl, it's hard for me to say that Tom Brady was playing better than Aaron Rodgers and Patrick Mahomes. I just refuse to believe that. Now, if you want to base it on the totality at the end result, winning the championship, okay. But if you just look at up until Aaron Rodgers lost, you could honestly say Tom Brady was playing better than Aaron Rodgers. Up until the end of the season, you could honestly say that. No, you can't.
Well, yes, I could. Well, how could you not say that? He'd beaten him head-to-head. It was 38-10 when they met during the regular season, right?
But how many games
And Aaron Rodgers was, but you want to talk about stinking it up, he almost threw 2 straight pick sixes at Tampa Bay.
Skip, if I got a higher completion percentage, higher QBR, more touchdowns, fewer interceptions, I mean, how did you play better? I had the #1 seed throughout the entirety of the playoffs. So I'm trying to figure out how you play better.
So what had he done? He'd beaten a Rams team at home with a backup quarterback in place of a Jared
You beat
Goff.
Tyler Heineke.
Okay, so Taylor.
Taylor Heineke.
Yeah.
You beat Taylor Heineke.
Okay, but
The guy was taking online classes 2 weeks prior.
Okay.
And you beat him.
Okay.
You proud of that?
And then we beat Drew Brees at New Orleans, and then we beat Aaron Rodgers at Lambeau, and then we beat my homeboy in the Super Bowl.
You be the guy in Drew Brees had already turned in the retirement papers.
Oh, really?
He had already turned them in.
Okay.
You know that, I know that.
I think we turned them in for him.
Now you turned them in for it. Skip, you guys won the Super Bowl. I'm not trying to discredit anything Tampa has done, but I'm saying if you look at the regular season and up until the game in which Aaron Rodgers played, he outplayed Tom Brady for 17, 18 games. You look at Mahomes, he outplayed him. Mahomes did a number on him head-to-head. That's what you just said, head-to-head. Now, Brady turned around and got his revenge when it mattered the most in the Super Bowl, but he did outplay my homeboy.
Well, he's played him twice in playoff games and outplayed him both times.
No, he did not play him. No, he did not play. No, that first game in Skip. That first game in Kansas City, my homeboy did a number on him.
Did a number on him? Do you remember 3 straight 3rd and 10 conversions in overtime?
But how
and you think Mahomes played better than Brady? Stop.
Skip, you remember now, Mahomes was down. They were down. And Mahomes brought them all the way back and had the lead.
Well, that's against that leaky Belichick defense.
No, see, now it's the defense.
Well, it was completely leaky.
Let me ask you a question. Do you believe New England would have won if Mahomes had gotten the ball first? Because in situations like that, both offenses were hot. So it was going to come down to who got the ball first.
Well, all I know is I'd never seen anybody, especially in overtime in an AFC championship game, convert 3 straight 3rd and 10s. It's impossible. It's impossibly great. You give him 0 credit for that.
Well, if D4 could see and not line up off sides, they had to pick and the game would have been over.
Yep. All I know is Tom Brady has cost you maybe 50 cases of Diet Mountain Dew on this show, and you will not back off. You continue to dig in, and you continue to lose. And he's going to be 44 years of age, and I believe they're going to win every regular season game. So, right?
I don't.
Yeah, I do.
But here's the thing, Skip. You keep talking about Brady. I would love to see the situation if I were to take Mahomes and put him behind that offensive line, and I were to take Rodgers and put him behind Tampa's offensive line, and then I want Brady to have to face what Rodgers and Mahomes face. So do you believe if we flip it and the pass rush is on Brady like it was on Rodgers and Mahomes, you think Brady winning that game?
Here's the flip. If I had sent Patrick Mahomes to Tampa last year in the middle of the pandemic with no preseason games, all virtual, and I threw him in with a 7-9 team known as the Succaneers because their franchise had the worst winning percentage in sports over their history. If that happened to Mahomes, there's no way he would have done what Brady did.
Skip, you keep saying the Succaneers, and we know their history. But you're making it seem as if they were devoid with talent. They were not. That's why Brady went there.
A lot of teams have talent, and a lot of teams finish 7-9.
It's just like Peyton. Peyton went to Denver because he saw they were loaded. They had a young and up-and-coming defense, and they were loaded with skill position. Wide receivers, tight ends, and the offensive line they had Ryan Clady. They traded for Vasquez, so they had a nice offensive line. So let's not pretend that Brady went to a team that was the equivalent in talent as what he left in New England, because that's not true. That's not true.
But Tebow had turned around the Broncos. Well, he had. You know it, and I know it. They were 1-4. under Kyle Orton, and then Tebow turned them around and won division in a playoff game, right?
Had Jameis been more professional and did what he was supposed to do, this team was ready to win. That's why BA got so upset. He's like, yeah, we were 7-9 with a quarterback that played like this. I believe we can win.